welcome to our session this afternoon, and we'll be talking about SQL, particularly MS SQL. And you know that this is provided by Microsoft. To reiterate, we've discussed already that there are other vendors of SQL, and there is one particular um, SQL in the market which is free, and that is MySQL. So follow the steps on the screen, not necessarily for you to simulate, but then for you to grasp the processes. All right, let me open my MS SQL. So you should be looking at that right now. This one is version 2008 R2. Again, I have said in the past that we have newer versions already. So I'll click connect. Okay, and I'll go to this part. You can see databases. Now, what we will be doing this afternoon, basically you will have three. Number one, backup. Number two, restore. And number three, delete. So first of all, let's have backup. I want this particular database to be backed up. What's the purpose? In the event of disaster, at least you will have something to go back to, for you to retrieve, for you to restore, and allow operations to run again without interruptions. Alright, so this is how we will do it. Highlight, right click, click task, and then click backup. Okay, so there is a default folder wherein once this backup is already processed, then it will be saved there. After being saved, then you need to get a secondary storage device and transfer it there for more permanent storage. Okay, so all we have to do is click add. It's now executing, and you can see it's now completed successfully. I'll click OK. Now I have to go to that specific location of my hardware for me to see the backup file. It's actually in C. So let's look at our C. It must be here on the folder backup. So these are my databases. Okay, I am not so sure why we have mooring that back here. I don't know, maybe it was just for example purposes in the past. So this was the backup that I made. This is actually the file, and now you can copy this, right click, copy that to another storage like flash drive or external disk drive. Alright, the next step that I will be showing is how to delete a database. Okay, so say for example I want to delete this one. All I have to do is click from the keyboard the key delete. Okay, and something like this will appear. All I have to do is click OK. Now you notice that the database is already deleted. Just imagine that for a number of days, months, or even years of transactions, then it's saved to the database. It only takes a few clicks for you to delete that database. So for our purposes of studying audit for databases, we should know and we should be careful in auditing as to who has the access in the database. In this particular example, MSSQL, because it's so easy to delete, and once deleted, we don't know where to go back to. So what you will do is hold the person accountable who has the responsibility over the databases. All right. So if, for example, you were able to save it successfully, or you already have a backup, the next thing to do in the event of disasters and you would want to continue your transactions, all you have to do is to restore the database. So to restore is an easy step. Okay, simply right click restore database, and this one will appear. This will now be a new database, but the contents are the transactions of the past. So let's say I'll name this new database as RGB. Let's say 123. This is for illustration purposes only. Then let's look up from our local storage, or it can be from another device. Just look for the file of that backup. Okay, so let's say assuming this was the database. Okay, let's click and then click OK. Okay, once completed, it should be seen here. Okay, so it's now successful. Click OK and see we have the RGB123 already being created. So what you have just watched, you were able to see the processes on how to back up a database. Let's close this. Okay, so let us recall what we did were the following. Number one, we're able to back up a database. Number two, we're able to delete a database. And number three, we're able to restore a database.